Alright, so is this thing going? Alright, so we are streaming on Facebook and YouTube. This is the second stream. And I'm trying out this service called, what is this called? Restream. And I'm just trying out the free plan where it allows me to stream onto two different platforms. But I'm still getting used to this stuff, and I wanted to talk about the latest announcement that Tesla made recently regarding they're offering the service of wrapping cars. But before that, I just wanted to talk about some other things and maybe give time for people to get on if people are gonna get on. But as mentioned, this is the second time I'm streaming, so please forgive me. I'm not used to this, but I want to start streaming because it gives me a chance to do content a lot more quicker, so I could talk about things that just occurred. Like, for instance, the whole announcement with Tesla and wrapping cars. That way I don't have to like set things up, I don't have to record, I don't have to edit. But there are also cons because I can't provide like B-roll footage, or because I like providing visuals and stuff. So I think it enhances the videos. So I'm not able to do that, but I have some scenes set up on this capturing software that would help with the visuals. So, and I think this gives me both chats too for Facebook and YouTube. So if you have any comments, do drop them on the chat box. Otherwise, drop them on the comments after I am no longer live. So let's begin. Yeah, so earlier today, Tesla has announced that they are now offering to wrap cars. And some of the reports that I've seen look like it's limited to 2023 models or newer, and it's limited to Model 3 and Model Y. Now, if you go to their website, on their website, you can actually choose from, I think, seven. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. So you have Glacier Blue, you have Forest Green. This is actually the one I like, and Glacier Blue is the second one that I like. Satin Rose Gold, so this is kind of like the iPhone color. And then let's see, you have Slip Gray and Satin Ceramic White, so this is like a in between gloss and matte finish. And then Satin Stealth Black, so again, satin is like the in between finish between matte and glossy. And you have Crimson Red. So Crimson Red, if I'm not mistaken, is the color option available to the Middle East, I think. They're built out of the Berlin Gigafactory, and they're only offered, I think, in the Middle East. Maybe also in Europe, but I thought it was exclusive to the Middle East. But correct me if I'm wrong. So basically, those are the choices for Model 3 and Model Y, and reports have said that they're exclusive to 2023 or newer. Now the price starts at, I think, 7,500 for like the Slip Gray, Satin Ceramic White, Satin Stealth Black. Everything else is $8,000. Now these aren't just like wraps. They're I mean, I guess you could consider them PPF, paint protection film, because in the description it says that these are self-healing urethane-based film, protects paint against chips, scratches, and swirling, more environmentally friendly than traditional vinyl wraps. Covers all external painted surfaces and door jambs. So they're not just vinyl wrap, they're actual PPF type material. And it protects it against chips and scratches and swirling. So swirling, so there might be a coating like ceramic coat that will probably make it easier to clean. I'm not really sure, but this is just announced today, so there isn't that many details. I've been trying to browse Twitter to see what other information is available. Now there is a clear uh, clear protection option, but I don't see it here. But people have said that there is an option that starts at $5,000. So they're pretty pricey, sorta. If you want to look deeper into this, now we've wrapped three of our Teslas total. Two of them were wrapped in the same shop, and one was wrapped in a different shop. Now, the shop that we use for two of our Teslas, I thought they did a really great job. They're on the higher end of the price, but I think it's worth for their workmanship, because they do a good job. And so to wrap Abby's previous Model Y 7-seater, I think we paid like $3,200 for a matte finish Aurora Borealis from TinyBot. And then our Model X was also wrapped with Aurora Borealis, but with metallic. And so that one, I believe we paid about $3,800. Now, Tesla's offering the lowest option from what I've read on Twitter is $5,000 for just a clear PPF. And I'm not sure if the door jambs are included in any option that you pick, but that is an additional cost. So when you wrap your cars, they don't normally wrap that part. And so if you don't know what the door jambs are, is when you open the door, it's that part of the frame right there. So if you don't wrap that part, when you open the door, you could see the original color of the car, unless you wrap the car similar to the original color of the car. But those are the door jambs. And from what I've heard, in order to wrap that part of the car, you have to remove the doors. So that's additional work. I'm not sure how much more work it would be if we were to add it to the previous Model Y that Abby had at $3,200. So let's say they charge an additional $800, maybe $200 per door. That seems a little low because that's a lot of labor. You're at $4,000, which is half the price of what Tesla is offering. So the other thing to consider if you are going to do this, well, let me move back. So according to this webpage, in my area, there's only two locations that's offering the service: West Covina Tesla and Carlsbad Tesla. So West Covina is on the eastern part of Los Angeles. It's about 20 to 30 miles east of Los Angeles. And you have Carlsbad, which is north of San Diego. I don't know how far, but it's north of San Diego. So in Southern California, those are the only two areas or service centers that would offer these services for you. Now, I took a quick peek at, let me see if I can take another quick peek. Google. And we'll look at Tesla West Covina. I could have sworn they didn't have really that great of a review. So 15 reviews, and it's 3.7 on their rating. So I don't know. I didn't really look at this. Is it the dealership part or is it the service part? So that's one thing to consider. Like, who's gonna do the work? Is it gonna be Tesla that's gonna be wrapping the cars themselves? Now, if you're gonna ask for my opinion about my experience with Tesla service, it's 50-50, because they've been great with my Model 3 and Model Y, but they've been atrocious whenever I brought in my Model X. And those are the same dealerships in Upland. So I'm not really sure why I get different service experience with two different cars. But if Tesla themselves is the one that's gonna actually wrap the cars, are you gonna get the same service experience as if you were taking your car there when there's something wrong? Because if that's the case, it's uh it's a mixed bag. It's a mixed bag. So some people have had great experience. I've had some great experiences, but there are other times where I got the car in worse condition than when I brought it in. So who's gonna do the wrapping? Is it gonna be the service center? Are they gonna hire additional technicians who are experienced in wrapping cars? Are they gonna go third party like they do with body work? Are they gonna do third party and have them do it? We don't know. I mean, in the web page doesn't really say anything, and I've been trying to find more information about that. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks, when people start to do this, we'll get more information. But some information I did find on Twitter says that you have to leave the car 5 to 7 days. That is very typical when you get your car wrapped. So I've seen many advertising, that says, "Oh, we'll wrap it in a day. We'll come to you. We'll wrap it in 2 days, 3 days. We'll even come to you." And I don't know how they're doing that. To be honest with you, I don't know how they're gonna come to you. Like they don't even have an area. I don't know how they're gonna come to you, wrap your car, um, in like a day, 8 to 12 hours, and you're gonna have like good results. I don't know. I haven't really talked to anyone who's done that before. I don't know how they're gonna do that. So like the good car wrapping shops will take several days to do this because they have to remove the bumpers, some panels. Now this is PPF though, so I don't know if they're gonna tuck it under. I've seen cars that have PPF that they tucked under, and they start to come off. Um, PPFs are a little thicker. I think they're like 7 millimeters versus vinyl wraps at like 3 or 4 millimeters. I could be wrong with the thickness of it, but in general, vinyl wraps are thinner than PPF. PPFs are thicker. That's how they can get you the extra protection against rock chips and stuff like that, road debris and stuff like that. So I have seen cars that were wrapped tucked under with PPF, and they come off. They come off. I mean, vinyl wraps come off. Our two cars where the bumper panels are, where the bumper panel and like the fender meet, that is the area that's commonly like it would come off because they tend to, when you're driving and the vibrations, those two panels will rub on each other, and eventually the wrap will come loose. So that's when the warranty would sometimes kick in, and you have to take it back to the shop and say, "Hey, can you do a touch up?" So the shop, the first shop we went to in Upland, Rap Legacy, and this is not a sponsored video. They actually support the quality of the work. They consider it a warranty repair whenever that happens. At least in our situation, for both our previous Model Y 7-seater and Model X long range, we just take it back and they just work on it and they fix it. Will Tesla do the same thing where it's like if the PPF starts to come off between panels, would that be considered warranty work? Now, sometimes when you need warranty repair with Tesla, it takes weeks before you can get a schedule in. Is it going to be mobile? Are they going to come to you and they'll fix it in your driveway? Who knows? So this is like just early on information. No one has done it yet at this point, but these are the things that I'd like to question, just to, if anyone is considering it, to also ask when you go to the shop. I've done a video about wrap warranties, so go check that out as well, just to give you an idea of what to look for and what questions to ask. So now PPF supposedly lasts longer than vinyl wraps, because vinyl wraps, they tend to last 2 to 4 years. After that, you may want to remove it. The wrap tends to become hard, becomes more stuck to the car. It doesn't really damage the paint, but where you're gonna have to pay more is removing the wrap if you left it on there too long, the vinyl wraps. Because what happens, as one of the shops explained to me, is when you leave the wrap on too long, it's more difficult to remove. So let's say it takes a day just to remove the wrap, but if you leave it on too long, that 1 day work could become 3 days. So instead of paying for 1 day's work, you're now going to have to pay for 3 days of work to remove the old wrap. PPF, from what I hear, is supposed to last 7 to 10 years. That's why it's a little bit more expensive. It's more protective, more protectant. What's the word? But yeah. So is it a fair price? 8,000, well, 5,000 for the clear one, and then 7,500 for those regular colors, and then 8,000 for more of the luxurious color. I don't know. So again, these are PPF. They tend to be more expensive than vinyl wraps. They tend to protect your car more, better. If we were to take a look at Southern California market, the probably the cheapest you would pay is about $5,000 for maybe a Model 3. Model Y is probably going to be a little bit more expensive because of its size. But let's just take a look at Model 3. Probably $5,000. That's on the low end of doing the Model 3 compared to 7,500. Again, Tesla includes the door jambs, so that's extra work. I don't know how much additional. If you're gonna ask me if it's a fair price, maybe if you have a Model Y, because the Model Ys are more expensive to work on because of the size. But yeah, I think it's fair. I think it's a fair price considering if you're looking at PPFs starting at about $5,000. Because just the front end alone, when I talk to people, I think they run around $1,600 and up, depending on the car and depending on the coverage. It could just be the front bumper. It could just be, the hood. It could be the front bumper and hood. It could be front bumper, hood, and fender. Sometimes they don't even include the side mirrors. Who knows? But you're looking at least 1,600 just on the front part of the car. Now, do you need it for the back? Probably not. But some of these, you would if you go with Tesla, because these are colored PPFs. So you don't want to just have the PPF in the front with a different color unless you get the clear ones. But the clear ones, from what I hear, are also a different finish. You can get a glossy finish or you can get a matte finish. So there isn't just a transparent PPF layer. So you're gonna probably have to do the whole car, and I don't think there is no option to do partial. So you're paying the full $7,500 to $8,000. But again, like from this list, I really like the green. The green is this forest green looks, well, no, it doesn't look like my performance. But I'm drawn to green wraps. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just something different. But yeah, I don't know. Would you do it? I mean, I'm kind of bummed that they didn't include the Model X, because we'd have the Model X Plaid on order. I actually would consider this, and I mean, it would be great before delivery that we had the option to do it, so that way when we go pick it up. See, but the thing is, what if we go check out the car and we decline it, and then now there's a PPF on there? So I'm not really sure, but I if they offered it for the Model X, by the time we take delivery, a high consideration. But if the Model 3 and the Model Y already cost 8,000, I'd hate to see that go any higher. It's probably gonna go up, maybe 10,000, 12,000. At that point, now it's like PPF or FSD, right? Um, Tough one, tough one. But we are planning on putting a PPF on the Model X anyway. Um, so it's a tough one because, but see, not really tough because they're not offering it. So I really hope that they do. But going back to the question, if it is a fair price, in my opinion, again, in my opinion, and if you're in the market where PPF start at about 5,000 for a Model 3, then yes. But if you're in a market where these things are less expensive, then I probably wouldn't think it's a fair price. So Southern California, though, the market here is just, it's just really expensive for everything. So at least the ones that do good jobs, you're gonna have to pay a pretty penny. So um, the other thing though too, there's only 7 colors to choose from. So if you do end up doing this, I mean, majority of the time, or like the reasons why people wrap their car, at least the reason I why I wrap my car, is because um, I want to be different. We always buy white because we like white cars, but also it was the free color, and a lot of people bought white because it's the free color, and because of that, it's like whenever we go to the parking lot, sometimes it's like which one is our Tesla. So we ended up just wrapping because rather than pay extra for the paint, um, that money that would have gone towards the paint, we went toward to put it towards the wrap. So we usually wrap our cars. So, but yeah, 7 colors isn't really that many to choose from. So you're kind of like back to the regular paint color, although you've pretty much doubled it, I guess. So there's like 14 different colors now. So it's less likely you may run into someone with the same wrap, but it is a greater chance that you will, because it has happened. I mean, with my wrap on the performance, I've seen one or two other cars. I haven't seen them in the same place where I was, but I've seen them online. So there is still a chance that someone will have the same wrap as you, but with only 7 colors to choose from at this time, there's a greater chance. So are you willing to pay the extra money to get the PPF, but also have a good chance that someone would have the same color as you? But if you don't mind it and you're just after the protection, yeah, I mean, go for it. Go for it. I would, if I'm able to. So I think that's really about it. Let me know in the comments below whether or not you are interested in doing this. Hopefully, we get more information after a few days, after a few weeks. Um, but yeah, those are things that I worry about. Like, who's gonna do it? Is it Tesla? Is it a third party? What kind of warranty does it come with? I joke about it. It's like, oh, they get to hide the paint defects, the factory paint defects. That's the other thing too. So, what if you already had damage to your car, like scratches and stuff? They those need to be sanded or buffed out. Is that going to be part of that price, or is that an additional? Or they don't wrap cars unless you just took delivery of it. I mean, what are the requirements? Like if you've owned a car for, I don't know, a couple months and you've been driving it a lot and you got rock chips, are they gonna fix that? Are they gonna sand that? Are they gonna buff those scratches? Because they're gonna come through. It's gonna show on the PPF. I mean, it happened on one of my bumpers. There was a gash from my electric bike pedal, and they didn't sand it down. I mean, luckily and unluckily, they did a